All right, guys, this is episode number 4 of the Black Diamond Podcast. My reoccurring guest, my buddy, Dougie Barnard here, also known as the Golf Clan, on Instagram and YouTube, and also Dougie Barnard on Instagram and YouTube. You need to go give him a follow. He's got some great vlogs out there. He's going to also share with us what he did this past weekend. He had a tournament, the Creators Cup. All right.
Yeah.
No handle for that one though, right? No handle for that one yet.
No separate account for that, just a hashtag that we used.
Gotcha. So yeah, man. I mean, you were out there at RTJ Capital, and what, 2-3 days?
Yeah, so it was a 2-day golf event. I got there on Friday, played a practice round, and then the actual tournament rounds were Saturday, Sunday. One round on each of the courses, so 54-hole event. We did a 2-man best ball, and it was net. So there were handicap adjustments. So it was kind of an even playing field because otherwise the scratch guys would kind of run away with it. So we had,
Morgan,
some of my
Pat.
Morgan. Shout out to Pure Golfing Society who did win both of the closest to the pin challenges.
You're joking.
No, man. Both of these were like 195-yard par threes, dealing with wind. One of them was like to an island green. And sure enough, man, I get up there and check to see, and Morgan's name is the closest to.
Oh, he's got a lot of experience with that between the Golf Club of Georgia and what's the other one? Horseshoe. I mean, he plays from tips all the time, so.
Yeah, Morgan's. I mean, I think he just got his handicap to a plus 2.8 because he registered a 63 in his GIN. So.
You're joking.
Yeah, no, man, the guy can play. Yeah, he's a force to be reckoned with. But he did not win the Creators Cup because we had the handicap adjustment. So it actually ended up being two of my high school friends from Indiana. Now they're living in Chicago and Denver, but those guys are about 10 and 11 handicap, something like that. And they ended up firing in the second round a team score of 62.
Whoa.
So they went 10 under in the second round, and I think they ended up, winning by 2 strokes overall, but it was that second round that really separated them from everybody else.
Dang, 10 and 11 handicap.
Yeah, but remember that it's handicap adjusted. So
yeah.
They didn't actually shoot a 62 best ball, but based on, their handicaps, they did. So they ended up playing really, really well. But yeah, man, the Robert Trent Jones Trail, Capitol Hill, is just
pure.
Dude, it's an incredible place, man. And they have 3 courses there. The course that we played on the first day is called the Senator, and they're hosting an LPGA event there next year, and I think they do it annually. And they closed down the course for a couple months. I went over and I think it was July to get a practice round in, and the course was closed because they were redoing all the greens.
Oh, wow.
And so when they opened it up, man, I was out there in the first round of the tournament, and one of the guys that I was playing with, who's traveled a lot, played a lot of courses, he was just standing on the first green looking around, and he's like, this might be the purest green I've ever seen. I don't even see one ball mark.
Nobody's played on it since they redid.
Yeah, they shut down for a few months to redo the greens, and so it's looking pretty mint. But yeah, it was like a link style course, rolling hills. No trees on the Senator course at all, no trees at all, and pop bunkers everywhere, man. It felt like a little bit of what I might expect going over to Scotland or Ireland playing a course. I've never played true links golf, and I'm not sure that there's a ton of true links golf in the US, but this was like a strong dose of it, man. Like, you're dealing with 20-mile-an-hour winds. It's pretty firm and fast out there, pop bunkers everywhere. The heather was insane. So like, you're looking up on most of the tee boxes, you get up there and you got hills, and then the fairway is like right in the middle, sunk down in between rolling hills. But if you miss the fairway, there's rough, and then there's unfindable heather.
Oh my God.
And so it's like, if you miss the fairway in the rough, and you can even hit a good drive and the wind just takes it, like, you're not finding your ball. Like, it's just so thick. So really, it was a challenge. But one of the players was saying that that it was his favorite course. I don't think a lot of people scored well because tough conditions with the wind and with, having to put the ball where you need to put it all the time. Like it kind of reminded me a little bit of battle at the beach when it's really windy there, and you kind of like, I remember there was a hole there, a par 3, maybe like 200 yards, and both myself and my partner just hit irons that just ballooned in the wind, and then once it got caught in the wind, like goodbye, like, you know what I mean, like you have no chance.
Yeah.
And then somebody else grabbed like a hybrid and made just a straight up old man swing and just poked a little hybrid out there. It wasn't pretty, but it stayed low and ran up close, ran up close enough to the green that it caught a slope and caught a piece of it. And it's like, that's kind of what a little bit of this past weekend was some of the wind. It's just like, you have to have different shots and you have to be able to control your ball in the wind. And that's just something like, me and you are both Georgia guys, and I don't think we have to deal with a ton of wind because there's usually trees that kind of provide some coverage.
Yeah.
And then we got out there and there were just not a single tree on the first course at all. So even though it wasn't a windy day, the wind is just gusting and kind of testing you.
Yeah.
So yeah, the first course is super tough. And then the second one was a little bit more scoreable. And that's when the team that won it shot to 62. And then the course on the last day is just incredible. It's probably the most scenic course. It's called the Judge course, but it's probably the most scenic of the entire Robert Trent Jones trail, because the first tee shot has a huge elevation drop and it's just gorgeous. And the entire course is just, it's hard to even describe it. I think it's like marshland golf, or I wouldn't call it like playing in a swamp because that kind of sounds bad, but it definitely wasn't like links golf, and there was a ton of water, and it was just big and bold and just in great shape. And I think that's kind of like what I was most pleased with about the weekend, is just like the greens for public golf courses were so good. And like when you have, tight fairways, good tee boxes, and greens that are rolling pure and rolling fast. I mean, for public golf, that's like what you want in a buddy trip. Like you want to be able to come and just have that there. And so to be able to have that and bring a lot of people out to play, it was a blast for me. And I was also kind of balancing two things, which was the creators were like their own separate animal. So these are YouTubers that kind of came from California, drove up from all over. And then the other guys were the Morgans and the Pats and people that were coming just to play and score. And so I kind of separated those into two tournaments so that the people that wanted to, fly up a drone and get different shots as they're playing could do so. And the people that just wanted to play and score could do so. So I kind of separated those into two groups, and it ended up being pretty good, having both work. And then you'll like this, obviously, our friend and coach, Colin McCarthy.
Yeah.
So Colin made an appearance. Colin had a wild week last week. Shout out Colin McCarthy. But last week he took a trip to my home state of Indiana.
Yeah. And
played some incredible courses. He drove down and played the Die course at French Lick, and it looked just absolutely incredible. He played Crooked Stick, which is one of the top private golf course or golf club in Indiana or Indianapolis, I would say, at least in Indianapolis. So he had that crazy weekend and then flew back to Georgia. And then at like 9 p.m. Friday night, he flew in, packed his bags, and then drove 3 hours to Alabama to crash the Creators Cup. So I was glad that he came, and then he kind of floated around with us when we played. And as you can imagine, some of the starters and marshals were like, did you guys get approval to have a 5-some out here? And it was Colin was just floating around and like setting up, his camera, getting shots, and so it ended up being a ton of fun. And having him there was a lot of fun. He got to join some of the YouTube videos and challenges that we did. We did a couple of videos where he was like, each team got to use one celebrity shot as a mulligan. And so, Colin got to step in and then hit a shot. So in one of the challenges, he completely bailed his team out because they both duffed chip shots. And then Colin got up there one take and just hit like a bounce and one stop right next to the hole. So,
oh gosh.
Yeah. He came in there and got to play a little bit, got to show off the repertoire of skills. And then probably the coolest thing was the second night of the event, after we played 36, we went back to the houses. We got we ordered pizza, had dinner and stuff. And then in between the two houses, there was a private putting green.
Oh.
And the green was pure, man. It was actually faster than the courses. It was like running at like a 12. I mean, like,
Dang.
yeah, on some of the putts, like there was one putt where you just like couldn't stop it. If it got past the hole, it would just kept running out. So nice little practice putting green, little chipping room as well, and several holes. And then one of the golf YouTube guys brought a bunch of glow sticks and glow golf balls. And so we cracked the glow sticks and set them up around the holes and kind of like lined the green with glow in the dark sticks, and then had some glow in the dark golf balls and stuff. So that was pretty cool. And then Colin also gave a chipping masterclass for everyone there. So we all kind of just like got his chipping methodology in like a 10-15 minute version. And dude, it was incredible. It was like so simple.
Yeah.
And I mean, you know how he teaches.
Yeah.
It's just sort of like you see it, and like he's in his element. He's just fired up about like, physics and like how to chip the golf ball and stuff.
Yeah.
And one of the guys there, I think he's like a 20 handicap, started immediately doing what Colin was saying, and just was chipping it to 1 and 2 feet. He was like, I think I've got it figured out. And then the next day fired the low round of his life.
No way.
Yeah, man.
Dude, that's awesome.
it was cool. Yeah. So that team, actually, that was my friend Alex Cohn and Patrick Rahek. Those guys ended up making a push all the way up until second place. So because that guy got a bunch of strokes because he had a high handicap, and then he fired the best round of his life, they made a push from like bottom to 2 strokes away from winning it all. So
Dang.
yeah, I was happy for him. It's cool to see someone shoot the best round of their life.
Oh, for sure.
And I think Colin's chipping tips definitely helped them out with that. But no, I mean, like the setup at this place was really, really cool. People stayed up late in the YouTube house. People stayed up late, just like brainstorming content and growth and strategy and just different tips and, equipment and gear. A bunch of guys brought different gear to play with, drones and GoPros and things like that. And then in the other house, people just, stayed up late playing poker and watching football and just hanging out and stuff. But it ended up being an incredible weekend. I've gained a new appreciation for people that run golf tournaments, especially.
Yeah, I was about to ask you, like, how was like, did you lose any weight? Did you get sick setting all this up? Like, how stressful was it on top of work and then coordinate a whole tournament? How many guys did you have? Yeah, like 16?
Yeah, 16 guys. Fortunately, we had an even number, and I actually had a couple guys on a waiting list because I didn't want to have an odd number. So sitting on 16 was just perfect to have 4 foursomes for the golf. And then we had 2 houses on property, and each of them had occupancy for 8 guys. So it ended up being like on the number, perfect.
Oh, wow.
So that was kind of just the first thing, is like, am I going to fill these houses? Do we have enough people that can show up? What if someone backs out? What if someone, can't make it last minute? How are we going to deal with that? So just getting the numbers right was like huge, first of all. But then, there's just a lot of details that I had never thought about going to some of the STEEZANDTEES events. Things like closest to the pin. Okay, like you need to have a stake that goes in the ground. You need to be organized. You need to communicate like to all the players so that they know what hole it is. And there's just things that you need to do behind the scenes that, I found myself like before the tee time, instead of being on the range with some of the other players hitting balls and rolling putts and just kind of like getting into that like competitive mindset.
Yeah.
I'm like driving my cart full speed, like hamming on the brakes, like jumping out, like sprinting into the clubhouse to grab something, try to get the trophy to the first tee for the first group to be out there. So I was kind of just like, and then I didn't get to play with everybody in the event. So I was trying to get to the tee box to see some of the first groups go off, to get a couple pictures and videos of them, since I wouldn't get to play with them. So trying to do all that, man, like you just forget to eat. Like you're just running around, you forget to eat, you forget to stay hydrated. And then like the last thing you're thinking about is like, playing golf yourself. And so Yeah, man, it was a rush for sure. Definitely like would do it all over again in a heartbeat, but I think it's totally different when you're going to an event strictly as a player and just to
Yeah.
enjoy, because you roll up to the range and you expect range balls. You're not
Right.
having to go and figure out what the arrangement is to get the range ball set up and all that, and
Yeah.
like and food and just other small things like that. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to Players Cup and just going to that and
Just being a
getting to
player.
trust Brian and Mel,
Yeah.
and like, because I remember one of the events. I think it was Battle at the Beach last year. It's
Yeah.
like it's Sunday. We had just finished the event. There was that sudden death playoff. The winning team made that birdie. It was incredible. And then I went in with some of the other guys into the clubhouse. I think it was Shuda and Jevons and Craig, and we were just getting a burger and a beer and just trying to relax before having to go to the airport and fly out. Brian walked in for a minute, said hi to us, and then we were like, "Hey, do you want to like sit down and join us?" He's like, "No, man, I got to go out for 2 hours and like take down all the banners on the course with
Yeah.
Mel."
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
at the time, I'm like, "Oh yeah, it makes sense." He's put on the event. Like, I would help you, but this burger's looking pretty juicy right now.
Exactly.
So now, having been on the other side of that and gotten a small dose of what it's like to run an event, you just have a new appreciation for all of that. And it happened again at Players Cup last year. Sunday morning, we're playing at the Palmer course, I believe, and me trying to capture some content that I would put into a YouTube video. I went out to the course early before the first round started to get a bunch of pictures and videos, and ran into Brian and Mel, who were out there setting up banners and things. And
Yeah.
so when you're like scrambling around, driving around, setting up banners, but then you're also trying to play and compete, you almost like can't do both of those at the same time. Like you can
No.
try, but
Yeah.
your brain is just scrambled. So like I just found myself at the end of the day of these days of the Creators Cup, dude, I was wiped, man. Like people were wanting to stay up till 2, 3 a.m. and then wake up at 7, and I'm like, dude, I am just so beat from
Yeah.
being on the course, having the wind blow all day, like losing balls, dealing with marshals, coming up and telling us to pick up the play. One of the more interesting things that happened over the weekend was in the first round that I played as a practice round. I got there early. I met a couple other YouTubers. We played, and the cart girl just didn't show up for the first 9 at all. I was okay because I brought just a bunch of stuff for the house. Like I
Yeah.
brought Powerades and stuff like that. So I threw some of those in my bag and I was fine. But the other guys were kind of just like, "This is crazy. Where's the cart girl?" They called the
Yeah.
clubhouse twice and they apologized and said, "We'll send the cart girl out." And it wasn't until like hole 15, I think, that the cart girl, and there was a marshal sitting out there on the course, and one of the YouTubers just got into it with the marshal. It was just like, "This is unacceptable. I mean, we're out here and we can't even get water. Like there's no water in the coolers. I mean, like you can't do this." And I
Oh
thought
my
they were just
God.
kind of like, having a semi serious conversation. And
Yeah.
then next thing I know, I mean, it's escalating and the marshal's right in his face. "Listen to me."
Oh gosh. No way.
Yeah, dude. I'm just over there like, do I try to go in and diffuse this? Because
Yeah.
I don't want anything bad to happen between the course, who's holding the event all weekend,
Right.
and one of our players. And I didn't want anything bad to happen. And one of the YouTube guys was just like, "She shouldn't be working here anymore. Like she should lose her job."
Dang.
And I was like, "Dude, hold on a minute, man.
Dude was
Like
he was hangry, sounds like.
dude, I think he wanted, yeah, I think he wanted some food. I mean, we played 15 holes with
Golly.
nothing to eat or drink and everything. And so I was just hoping that there weren't any punches thrown or something, because that'd be
Yeah.
a quick way to get the Creators Cup canceled.
Oh, for sure. Thanks for having you. Thanks for the money and see you later. Like
Yeah. So fortunately, like nothing bad happened there. It was a little awkward because we kept running into that cart girl the next couple holes after he had just like said, you shouldn't have your job anymore." So
dang. Awkward.
Yeah, it was a little awkward, but
Poor girl.
they ended up like sending out the head pro and the head manager, and they ended up like trying to make it back to that guy for that inconvenience by letting him like play another 9 holes for free, and then they gave him $120 in the clubhouse to spend at the pro shop for all that. So
Dang.
he wasn't trying to get anything from it. He was just genuinely mad and kind of lost his temper a little bit, but ended up getting a pretty sweet deal.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand. I mean, 15 holes, it's a super nice course. So you expect there to be a cart girl, at least like 5 holes in, 6 holes in. You know, you expect to see somebody out there, especially at a nice course like that. And then you just go out there and you're just like, dude, this is supposed to be like legit. we're like at a muni. We gotta buy our own stuff and bring our own stuff almost. Like that would kind of suck. I understand, but kind of sucks that even the Marshall got into.
Oh yeah, I was nervous. I was just like, yo, this is looking like intense, man. And these guys are like inches from each other, like screaming, and I'm like, oh my gosh. Yeah, that was crazy.
I could just imagine.
That was crazy,
like...
but fortunately made it through. It worked out.
Yeah, you able to finish the weekend.
I'm just like,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, able to finish the weekend. Didn't really have too much of an issue. Although I did have an issue, the first tee shot of the entire event.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see if I have this.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I remember this video. The shaft.
This guy,
head flew off.
Dude, this thing just completely flew off. My first swing and my 3-wood, the club head, just, and I was just left there holding the shaft, and I was just like, what in the world just happened? Like, I've never lost a club head before. I've never had it fly off the club.
Yeah.
And I was just like confused. Like, how did that happen? Like, it was cold in the morning, got a new shaft put on and stuff. So that was totally wild. And then the club head bounced off of the car path and like took a huge ding on the car path and bounced onto one of the forward tee boxes. Yeah. Fortunately, I found this because that was the course that had all the heather. And this was like 5 yards offline from being in the heather, and you can't find anything in the heather because it's so tall and thick. Yeah. So fortunately, I got the club head back, but then I didn't have a 3-wood to play all day. And in my practice round, I'd hit a bunch of 3-woods because there were a lot of holes that were like 400 yards and pretty tight, and you just want to put it in the fairway. You don't need to hit driver. You want to just keep it kind of low and just hit it in the fairway. So I was hitting my 3-wood in the practice round, and then first swing of the day, it's gone. And so I had no choice the rest of the weekend to pull driver. And then the other thing too is that recently, this is just an aside fact, I didn't know for the longest time that I'd been playing with 16 clubs in my bag. I had like dude, I had like 5 wedges and like two woods and a hybrid, and I started with 3-iron, and I didn't realize it until I was playing in some work event, and one of the caddies counted and said, "I'm sorry, sir, you have 2 extra clubs. Like, you need to take 2 clubs out of your bag."
At his leg, right?
So I just and I'd never played in any tournaments like where that mattered. So recently, I had to pull out the 5-wood, and I decided to pull out a 4-iron. So then I had a gap between 3-iron and 5-iron, but I liked to tee off with 3-iron. And then I pulled, 5-wood out, but I kept in my like rescue hybrid club. So now once the 3-wood's gone, I have no 3-wood, no 5-wood, and still no 4-iron. So it goes from like my driver, however far that's going, 280, 290, whatever. So I go from driver down to 3-iron, like 230. And so anything in that distance, man, like I can't get home in 2 on par 5s. Like I had a lot of great drives over the weekend, and I'm looking at like 270, and I'm like, like I was like, I can't go for it because I haven't been hitting my driver off the deck lately, so I don't feel confident like playing that in tournament golf. And with a 3-wood snapped, it was just like no choice but to lay up. So I ended up hitting a lot of like, 6-7-iron just into layup range on par 5s. Yeah. So it was kind of a bummer to have that snap and stuff, but
for sure, dude. Really, first hole of the tournament? So, like, were you actually playing in the tournament too?
I was playing in the skins games. I was still like competing for score and everything, but I was in the YouTubers bracket. So
Gotcha.
because of the numbers, I was the 8th YouTuber. So I wanted to keep the YouTubers in their own separate group. So I wasn't playing the 2-man event, but I was playing the skins game and playing my individual ball and everything. So
Gotcha.
it was a bummer, but fortunately, like I ended up hitting my driver amazing and didn't have a choice
Yeah.
because we were playing from 7,000 yards and
Whoa.
there weren't a lot of holes where I could just pull an iron off the tee. So any of the holes that I would have hit driver, that I would have hit 3-wood on, I just had to pull D-stick. And fortunately, I was hitting it pretty well, so it ended up working out. But I think for Players Cup, Sandy Baggins is going to bring an extra 3-wood for me.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you can leave your shaft and everything with Brian. He'll fix it for you. Send it back.
I could bring it. Yeah, that's possible. I could bring it. So that'll be interesting to game a new 3-wood for the event. I'm looking forward to.
What's he bringing you? You know.
He said it might be. It's either a Cobra or I think it's a Titleist. I can't remember. He's playing one of them, and then he has an extra.
Oh, okay.
So I can't remember exactly
Yeah,
what it is, but
it might be a Cobra one.
Yeah, it could be.
He used to play a lot of Cobra stuff, and then he went all Wilson and everything. He went Wilson irons.
Yeah, dude, he's all Wilson now.
He's got the Wilson bag. That's what I can't wait to see. I can't wait to see that ridiculous staff bag he's got. I mean, it's gonna be massive.
That thing looks huge.
Yeah, it's a staff bag. They're freaking massive, dude. They're like suitcases. They're like 10 pounds, 10, 20 pounds. But dude, it sounded like the Creators Cup was a good time. Trying to think, so you said you have a new appreciation for what all goes into the tournaments. How did any remarks from the players like Pat or Morgan or anything like that?
So I'm actually planning on trying to connect with them soon. Both of them like reached out and said it was a great event, really enjoyed it. Like let's try to talk soon and and really just like do a full rundown of the event because I didn't get to play with those guys at all throughout the weekend. So I don't really know like what they thought of things as much. I think generally people enjoyed it, but no event's perfect. And I think if they have any things to improve upon, I think they'll definitely let me know. So I'm looking forward to kind of getting some of their feedback, but yeah, I think like for the most part, it was pretty solid. The golf went according to plan. Everyone kind of had to scoot on Sunday after the event. I kind of like envisioned having like a lunch and like a trophy presentation and everything, and like everyone take pictures, kind of like at Players Cup after it all finishes and the winning team wins.
Yeah.
There's a little bit of downtime where like everybody just like hangs and takes a bunch of pictures, and then some people have to bail to the airport, some just hang out, get a drink and stuff.
Yeah.
But I think a lot of people were traveling from pretty far away, and like a couple of guys had rental cars that they were driving from like Montgomery, Alabama, all the way to Atlanta, and then taking a flight back to wherever and then there was also an hour time change because we were on Central Time and Atlanta's on Eastern Time. So some people had to scoot, and actually the winning team, one of the players had to leave after 12 holes because he booked his flight at 3:30 p.m. in Atlanta and didn't realize that there was an hour time change between the two and thought he could squeeze it in playing 18 on Sunday morning and then driving straight to the airport. And it wasn't even close. Like there was just like no way he was gonna get the golf in with a 2.5 hour drive and losing an hour.
Yeah.
And taking a flight. So he had to leave his partner after 12 holes, and then his partner is a 2-man best ball event. So his partner had to play his own ball on holes 13 to 18 while his team was in the lead, and he held on to the lead by 2 strokes. So props.
Way.
Yeah, man, like talk about pressure. Like I made it a 2-man event so that people wouldn't have to deal with like their individual scores being like, ride or die. And then sure enough, like I bet that guy was like, feeling it on 17 and 18, knowing that he makes a double or something and there's no partner to bail him out.
Yeah.
He could easily easily have lost the cup.
Dang, man. Was he like pretty aware? Like, how were you always keeping score like on the scorecards, or did you have like an app going, or what?
So Morgan helped out with he kind of like customized all the scorecards and figured out exactly what the handicap holes were going to be and highlighted those so that it was very easy for the players to like write down their net score, knowing which holes they stroked on as a team and everything. I looked into the Golf Status app, Golf Genius, and even some free versions of tournament scoring, like live tournament scoring apps. And I just didn't even realize that most the apps that seem to be like good apps for tournament scoring cost a lot of money, like several $100s to use for a tournament and set up. I had no idea about that. I had hoped that there was some live tournament scoring app that would be free, but the free ones that I downloaded in the App Store were trash. So, so ended up.
You know you are, all right, out there. Your app is trash. Dang, dude. That's hilarious. He just
Exactly.
Yeah, some free ones out there, but dude, they were trash. Like, they didn't.
I mean, it was not even like close to workable. So I think there's a monopoly in the market for those apps that are a couple $100s to use and set up for a tournament, because those are the only ones that seem to work. But it would have been cool to have a live scoring app, but I'm glad that we decided to do the do it by hand method and not try to use an app that broke down halfway or that lost all the data from the tournament or something like that. So I think it was good that we just did it old school. And definitely big shout out to Morgan again, the Pure Golf Society, because he spent a lot of time like tallying up all the scorecards, figuring out what the final totals were, the skins game. Like he was like a machine at doing all that. And I think he's played in a lot of tournament golf at Horseshoe Bend Country Club. So he's kind of experienced in knowing how to do that, but I don't have as much experience in that. So he helped me out a bunch, like with the scoring aspects of it.
Heck yeah, that's awesome, dude. Yeah, it was good to see Pat and Morgan, go out there and be able to play and support their buddy Doug. And I wish I could have made it out, dude. I was about to commit. I committed to me at STEEZANDTEES.
I know, and we're going to one in 2 days.
I know. Yeah, so we got speaking of another event, Players Cup, dude. We are Team Brian, and we've had a few people drop out due to, I guess, different issues, family or whatever, injuries for Ryan. He got injured at Victational at Victoria National. So we had a few people drop out on our team. So it was cool. We have you from last year. I invited you. You got plugged in.
Yeah.
And you partnered up with Jay Evans in Battle of the Beach, and now we got him in. Now we're all roomies. So,
dude, how epic is that, man? It all started with you. I mean, for real though. I mean,
oh yeah,
people have asked me about it, and before we played golf, I didn't know who Brian was. I didn't know Mel. I didn't know Steezandtees. I didn't know any of that. I did know that you had some swaggy head covers. I think those are from Coobs from Battle at the Beach, and you were talking about Players Cup. And I was like, oh, this sounds super cool, but I don't know what it is, how I can get involved, etc. So started, following them on Instagram and looking out for some of the events, and just got lucky with Players Cup. But like, that's crazy that, but for you, I wouldn't know any of these guys. I wouldn't be going to Players Cup. And then I can say the same for Jake, because, I kind of sold him the same way that you sold me. I think that's how a lot of players get connected with STEEZANTEES. They just word of mouth hear about how cool it is from other people, and then they join, and then they're like, oh, let me tell so-and-so because he would love this.
Yeah.
And then it keeps kind of going like that.
Well, because I think most guys, it's kind of like golf in general. Like if you're not a creator, if you're not a YouTuber, golf is kind of like an escape or like something you do with your buddies. So like we're always looking for like a buddy trip. Or something to do, somewhere to go with our buddies. So like you're like, dude, like, I mean, I like this, so I'm sure so and so like this. So let's try to bring the whole gang. And it kind of just builds up. over each tournament and over each trip. So it was cool to see Jake be able to get in there. I knew he was really excited about being able to be a part of Battle of the Beach earlier this year. And then I know a bunch of people who were in Battle of the Beach, they were like, dude, how do I get in the Players Cup? And we were like, dude, the Players Cup is already sold out. It's booked already. Like, everybody who was there the year previous is coming back. So I don't know what to tell you, man. I guess hope and pray somebody drops out. And sure enough, we had like 5 or 6 people drop out. So to have the spots open up. So it'd be a good time. I think teams are competitive still this year. And I know Jake loves to compete. So I'm excited to see. I'm sure y'all get paired up. Y'all were a pretty good team together at Battle of the Beach. So I'm pretty sure
I have no idea. I'm really curious to see what the pairings will be. I mean, Jake. Somebody was commenting on my YouTube video because I did a What's in the Bag video with him at Battle at the Beach,
Mm-hmm.
and in the video he was a 2 handicap in the video, which was in March.
Oh, wow.
And they commented something on the video like, you said your handicap was this and it's this, and I was like, no, like this video is Jake. This isn't me. I'm not a 2 handicap right now. And they were like, oh, so like like what's this kid's handicap now? And I think I looked it up on Gin. The guy's a plus something now.
Jake is?
Yeah, dude.
You're joking.
No, man. Like
Dang.
he joined a club and has
Yeah.
been playing a bunch. And I've seen some Instagram like update posts of his scorecard, and I'm like, bro, you are absolutely killing it. Like, why you gotta leave me in the dust like that?
You're like, bro, I need you. Battle of the Beach, I need you, right? Team Eagles gonna go Team Albatross next year. That's crazy. So he went from a 2 to a plus, like 1 or something like that.
Yeah, I think so.
Well, that was like 8 months ago.
Yeah, man, it feels like Battle at the Beach is forever ago. 2020 has been like 5 years in one.
It really has. That is, wow, dude, that's crazy. I mean, that's a lot of progress. It's hard once you're like,
Whew.
dude, what are you now? You're probably like a 4.
I think it's 3.6 right now.
Okay, so you're 3.6. Imagine going from that to scratch in the next 5 or 6 months. Think how much work you have to put in. Like think how much work you put in over the last year and a half to get to where you are now.
Right.
Then to get down to a scratch, dude. Jake's been working his ass off.
I think, dude. Jake's been working on the golf course all day. That's what he's been doing. No,
like, what the heck is life? I'm playing golf every day. Like, what the heck?
He has a good setup. I think he, for a while, had a green in his backyard.
No way.
That he was chipping and putting on, and just like, I think it was his parents' house, had a green in his backyard. And I mean, granted, he lives in Massachusetts, so there's not year-round weather there, but I think he was using that for a while and got his short game pretty dialed, and then joined a country club in Mass as well, and seems to have been like playing a ton there and just playing really, really well. Signed up for like an amateur event, like a stroke play, full on like stroke play event, Massachusetts, like mid am or something like that. And so he's been getting dialed. I'm excited to see him play over at Players Cup. And then did Team Rusty add one of the 4 Seltzer boys?
They got Wes. Yeah.
So Wes, he's got to be scratch, right?
You would think.
I mean,
him and Brian played from the tip at Victoria National, which is like a ridiculous yardage, and they both broke 80 from like
that course is hard.
7,500 yards, and it's a hard course. I think they both shot like 79 or something stupid, ridiculous. And we didn't. Brian's like scratch, so if Wes did it too, then he's gotta be right there.
He's got to be. I mean, him and Tebow won Victational.
Yeah,
I think he's playing some pretty damn good golf. So I think that's some firepower added to Team Rusty for sure.
Oh, for sure.
But does that mean that the Florida Seltzer boys are split up, or is Tebow's on Rusty
I think
as well?
Tebow is on Rusty's team.
Okay.
And
Okay. Never mind.
we have his buddy Joe Hendricks.
Got it. Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense because you can't split the Seltzer boys up.
Yeah. That would be that'd be great actually. But yeah, then someone else's tournament, yes, you can't split them up. But for this tournament, we do whatever we can. Maybe we put a little something in that seltzer, and one of them doesn't come to the tee dock sometime. You know what I'm saying? A little sabotage, a little hey, what's that guy? So Sean Tope at the first Stableford, he missed his tee time for like the last round. And like he was out too late, slept in, didn't hear his alarm, or didn't set one. Overslept and like missed the first like 2 holes or whatever. And he tried to go back and play them, and so they had to like a penalty stroke type thing. So they ended up losing by like 1 stroke because he lost because he missed.
No way.
Way.
Dude, was it worth it? Would Tope say it was worth it?
I don't know. You gotta ask Tope.
We gotta know what went down that made him late.
Or in a couple of days, you gotta ask him. You gotta ask him if it was worth it.
Wild, man.
His teammates would say no, but I think Ryan was on that team. And
wow.
Well, yeah, a stroke. Crazy. I'd be pissed, honestly. But
so as far as other like top tier players, is Coop's not playing, is he?
Coop's not playing. I think
Jock's not playing.
Jock's not playing this year.
Because those guys are like scary good, like under par. Like they're gonna shoot under par.
Oh yeah. Yeah, even so it's crazy last year when we got annihilated. Everybody that came back, I was in like one of the first 4 groups to finish. So like everybody that was coming up to the green after us was like, dude, man, I was playing so well in the front, and then I shot like even par in the back, and then whoever I was playing against shot like 2 or 3 under and like just beat me and came back and won. That happened with like almost everybody. It seemed like it was just like everybody was saying the same thing. It's like they were like handed a cue card, and they were just like, say this whenever someone asks you what happened to your round. And like, yeah, I think Ryan played against Ryan played against Jock, and then do you remember Benji from I think he's in Nashville.
He's playing again, yeah.
Yeah, he's playing again. So I think he was playing against somebody on our team. I forget who it was. Maybe it was I think it was it's a guy from Boston. Shooter
Jim Mitchell.
Yeah, Jim said he shot like even par, and then Benji just couldn't get anything going on the front. And back 9, he went like 4 under and beat him. It happened like everybody. And then Jacques did the same thing. Like wasn't playing that great. His wife and daughter shows up, and he just turns it on and just starts driving greens, starts chipping in shots and making putts. Ryan was like, dude, I knew I was done after hole 12. I knew I was done, man. It was crazy. So hopefully it's a little bit, at least we give him a better fight this year. Because we got some good guys too. I mean, we got you, we got Jake, who's apparently a great golfer now. He's a pro golfer almost. Friggin' +2 or whatever.
We got Brian, obviously.
Yeah, we got Brian. We got Joe. I think Joe's pretty good. His buddy, he has maybe 1 or 2 of his buddies are pretty good. That's coming in with him. I don't know. You didn't go to Bay Hill. You didn't go to Bay Hill with us, right?
No, I didn't.
So one of Joe's buddies came down to play Bay Hill, and I think he's a pretty good player too. I want to say they're both in Atlanta, or somewhere in Georgia. I'd never see him or hear from him, but apparently they're around. Yeah, they're supposed to be pretty good golfers. Trying to see who else is new. Supposed to be good. I don't know. I can't keep track of. I know Rusty hasn't lost as many people as we have. but everyone that we have has played in an event or a meetup at some point.
Yeah.
So it's not like, Brian doesn't know who they are. Like last year, we had a bunch of new people and like, we're just like, all right, well, you're on my team because we have space for you. There's a bunch of randoms together. Meanwhile, Rusty's team is out there practicing together. Johan and what's his name? Chris Bullen had their whole team practicing every weekend. It felt like they were at reunion or somewhere.
Oh my gosh. Dang, dude.
They just took it to a whole other level. I mean, you remember last year seeing all Johan's content? They were always at somewhere playing together. I'm just like, dang, dude, I wish I could play and get ready for the tournament like you guys are.
I mean, it would help to live in Florida, wouldn't it?
That would be a starting point. Move to Florida.
That would make it easier.
For sure. So are you pumped? Are you excited to be playing?
Yeah, I'm really, really excited. And looks like it's going to be warm. We just hope that it doesn't rain too much.
Yeah.
Because it looks like there may be some scattered showers and stuff. But no, I'm excited, man. It's starting to get colder here in Atlanta. Dark days, this daylight saving time is the worst thing ever, man.
Bro, it's horrible. I mean, literally within 24 hours of, the time change. I mean, it was already getting dark early enough, like 6:30.
Yeah, it was.
So now, like 5:45, you're done. 5:45, dude.
That's terrible.
Most people are just walking out to their cars from work at 5:45.
Seriously, dude. And it's November 3rd, right? It's not like mid-December, January or something. Like it just snuck up, and we still have good enough weather, to be in the 50s, 60s. So you could definitely play. It's just such a bummer. And then there's not really night golf. I mean, if there were any type of 9-hole course that had like good lights and good greens and stuff, like then I guess it wouldn't be as much of a problem. But
yeah,
I don't know of any place around here.
No, I don't know if they're still open, but they should still be open. I think there's one place I know of. It's in Duluth. I think it's called Peachtree Golf Center. They have like a 18-hole. They have a range, like a double deck range, but they also have 18-hole par 3 course.
Okay.
You can walk or whatever. If they're still open, it'd be cool to get some footage out there. It's mostly like wedges and 9-irons and stuff. There's a couple longer par 3s. I think the first one, number 9 is like about 185, 190 yards, and the second one is like 205, 210, or something like that. Like the number 18 is. So it's kind of weird. You go from like hitting wedges and like 9-irons and 8-irons to like, oh crap, I gotta pull out a random 5-iron somewhere. Like, didn't expect this. But it's kind of fun. If it's still there, it'd be cool to get some footage out of there. I don't know if you're into par 3 vlogs, but it'd be cool to get some night golf content at least.
I mean, it'd be fun just to hit balls too, because Deer Valley, has the range with good lights, but it's different when you're hitting to a hole and actually playing. So I'd be curious to check it out and see, is the lighting decent enough that it's fun, and is the course is it kept up enough that you can kind of play and feel like you can hit good shots.
Yeah. I've only done it maybe once. Usually I try to get my golf in during the day or mornings, but I think I've done it once. It was like probably about this time a year. Cause I remember it being kind of cool, like weather-wise. But I mean, it's good lighting from what I remember. But I mean, it's night golf, so it's like totally different. Gotta make sure you keep your eye on the ball. You don't want to mistake your ball for a fly or a moth flying around, something like that. Be like, oh, I thought my ball went over here. But yeah, I mean, it just sucks that that's the only place in Georgia that I know of with night golf. And then you look at YouTube or you look at Instagram and you see videos of places in Abu Dhabi or whatever, and they got just like this amazing course, just like lit up. You can play to like 12 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, Bro, do you know how good I would be if I could play golf at like 10 o'clock at night? Just get in a quick 9 holes after
Dude.
dinner.
Oh, dude. I mean, with a cart, you could fly.
Oh, exactly. Nobody would be out there. Like, just you and the course. We'll be some Jakes out there, bro. Plus two.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if there was a country club in Atlanta that had enough money and just were crazy enough to put in lights, maybe even on 9 holes, like that doesn't even have to be full 18.
Bobby Jones should do it. To be honest.
Dude,
I don't know why.
if Bobby Jones put in lights, man.
Yeah.
But they don't even have lights on the range, and the range just prints money. So
yeah, all that extra money we're paying for 70 balls.
yes,
lights on the range, of course.
I don't think. Yeah, I mean, from our perspective, more golf, like more availability to play golf. It sounds so awesome and stuff, but like Bobby shuts down right when it gets dark, and they send their employees home. Yeah, they're not even like, they know they could make so much money if they put in lights and kept it open like Deer Valley for a few hours. Like they could make so much money, and that's just a little strip of range area. So if they're not willing to do that, I wouldn't see them ever like putting lights on the course. But they were crazy enough to put in that putting green.
Yeah. Yeah, they're charging for it too.
How's the putting green? Is it worth $10?
I haven't put it on it yet.
Oh, you haven't done it yet? Okay.
No, I haven't done it yet. I mean, it's a putting green with some ridiculous.
Yeah, it looks like
undulations or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It looks pretty crazy, but that's, I guess, what you would want if it was a perfectly flat green and they're charging you $10 for it. You'd be like, shut up, come on. Like I'm hitting flat putts.
Yeah, I think they did the $10 thing just so it wouldn't get I guess one, too much play, and then too crowded, because I mean anybody who's anybody can just, it means right there in the front of the the clubhouse.
Yeah, like, you can just walk onto it.
Yeah, people from the tennis court walk over and be like, oh, can I just mess around on it.
That's true.
True. I mean, $10 is not expensive, but you go somewhere. I mean, I imagine that they do the same thing at Pinehurst.
Yeah, is Thistledew charged? Do you have to pay to do that putting green?
I feel like
no, the cradle you definitely pay like $50, I think, to play the cradle. So
$50?
Yeah, man. I'm pretty sure, because it's so popular and it's right there, and it's so hyped up and stuff. I'm pretty sure it's $50 to play.
I mean, I can see $30, but $50 for a par 3 for a wedge and a freaking putter.
It's Pinehurst, man. I mean, people go make their Mecca life golf trips there, and they're emptying out their pockets to play number 2, number 4. So,
oh my gosh,
getting a few drinks and playing the cradle for $50, they're not going to complain about that. But I don't know about the putting green. I don't know about Thistledew.
Putting green's probably $25 then. Like honestly, because
no, I mean, Pinehurst can do that.
Yeah, but yeah. I mean, it definitely can. It's Pinehurst.
Yeah, I'll let Pinehurst do it, but Bobby Jones is not Pinehurst.
No, it's not even close. But yeah, which is why, like, I think somebody commented on their post. That was the reason. They were just like, we just don't want it to get overcrowded. Like, we want people to be able to come onto it.
Okay, then charge $4. I mean, you still have to pay for it, but it's not.
I mean, $10
ridiculous.
Is whatever. It's like maybe in a couple of years when you get some hype. Sure, $10.
Right. Raise the price. Yeah.
But it's not even. To me, it's not even that big. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's not. It's just a circle that has 9 holes that you can play twice.
Yeah. So, trying to.
Does Sweden's charge for their putting green?
No, not as of now. No one. I mean,
I don't think they charge you, right? You just pay to play there for the day, and you can do whatever you want, right?
Yeah. Which is not like a thing like it is at Pinehurst. Like it is a thing, but it's not like people use it for when they have like little tournaments or whatever, like what Ryan them went to.
Yeah.
Like they'll use it for stuff like that, but like no one goes to Sweden's to play the putting green.
To play the putting green.
Like, people go to Sweden's to play Sweden's, and that's just like an added thing.
Right.
which is cool. Like down the road, it'll be a thing for sure. Like it's just not up there yet. It's not.
Yeah.
It's the course yet. But they're speaking of Sweetens, they're like building a house.
Are they
on the property or somewhere close to the property? It's gonna be massive. It's gonna be
a house, a clubhouse?
No, like an actual I think a house you can like rent out maybe
Like,
or like.
Oh, like a buddy's trip house.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's like that. So where you can get some kind of like history on the course and stuff like that. Kind of have like some cool vibes from the course. But one of the
Dude,
guys.
imagine waking up
Oh.
and seeing Sweetens out of your window.
Oh yeah,
that?
yeah. Those people are spoiled anyway. Those people right there on the land who probably don't even play the course. They're like so spoiled, dude. They get to wake up and look at that. Like those mountains, especially this time of year in the fall. Those trees turning colors and everything. Dude, I'm kind of upset I haven't been able to go the past couple of weeks. I want to go before November ends, but I don't know. We'll see what happens. I haven't been in the fall yet. I've only been when it's hot.
Yeah.
Remember that random tournament we went to up there in Sweden? I don't even know.
It was toasty, dude. It was toasty.
Most of those guys are. I just remember the main guy, Jake.
Yeah, it was toasty.
Jake's so real. The Jakes, which is weird because they were like both best friends. It was like two Jakes. Two guys both named Jake, and they were running their tournament with a bunch of their drunk friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Just like all 40 of them just wasted. There was just two random guys from Georgia showing up.
Exactly.
Hey, we want to play too.
I mean, hey, I'm not gonna say no to Sweetens, right?
No, dude, no, never. But yeah, man. It seems like you had a pretty good year in golf. I think between you and Ryan have played some good golf. I know you and what's the sweet spot? Y'all both played some crazy golf courses this year.
Dude, there's so many places that I would love to play that I'm seeing on Instagram and all this. And like one of the questions that I had people fill out for the Creators Cup was like, what's the best course that you've ever played, and what's the top course in your bucket list?
Mm-hmm.
And it was cool to see, like some people have traveled, they've played St. Andrews or they've played Pebble or whatever, like some of these like insane courses. And I was kind of just racking my brain. And I feel like being on Instagram, you see so many pictures of all these golf courses that they're familiar to you in some ways. Like you feel almost like you've been there.
Mm-hmm.
And, places like Tobacco Road, Bandon, Pinehurst, Streamsong. I mean, like all these places, like I've seen so many photos of them that I feel like Cabot. I feel like I would recognize it. Like, I'd step there and be like, oh yeah, I'm back.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I remember this hole.
Oh yeah. I remember this shot. I like this post on Instagram.
Right. That's funny. Yeah, that's funny you say that. It is kind of true, especially with all the drone footage out there now of all these courses. Yeah, it totally makes sense. I think next year will probably be I'll probably hit up the Carolinas next year.
Ooh, are you really?
Yeah, because I want Tobacco Road looks real cool. There's like even like I just started following this guy. His name is what's his Instagram handle? Bagger or something. I think it's somebody that Ryan met at Breakfast at Tiffany's tournament. I think he's a caddy at Pinehurst.
Wow.
But he was mentioning he always kind of shows footage of some Donald Ross muni up there in North Carolina in Asheboro. And like I've only I think the only Donald Ross I've played is Athens Country Club, which we gotta get you to.
That looks pure.
It's great. I'm just talking to the guy. I talked to the guy the other day. He said we gotta get you back. So maybe we can figure out a day and we can both go up there and get some content and get you familiar with that. That way we go there on the way to like the tobacco or something, or Aiken's Country Club, or whatever.
Oh my gosh!
But dude, that would be a crazy trip.
I mean,
that'd be wild.
When I think about the fact that we're 5.5 hour drive from Tobacco Road, Pinehurst, Dormy Club, all the other courses around Pinehurst, right? The Palomores, the Mid Pines. It's kind of just like, dude, what are you doing, man?
I know.
How have you not picked a long weekend and just hopped in the car? One of the guys that I met this weekend at Creators Cup said there was one night that he just decided, he's based in Atlanta, he just decided at 10 p.m. that he was going to Pinehurst, hopped in his car, drove there, got there. I think he stopped for breakfast or something, got there at like 5, 6 a.m. And just went right out and started playing, and then, you know, stayed a night or two. Wow. And I'm just like, dude, like, that's how you got to do it. Like, it's right there. You can get there in 5.5 hours. So I feel like, I mean, obviously you have to budget for it, plan for it, and make sure you get tee times and the right courses and all that stuff. So, but still, I mean, I feel like we got to check that off, given that we're in Atlanta and North Carolina is right there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and then Myrtle Beach apparently has like a great golfing, whatever. There's a ton of golf courses up there. They're nice. I think that's South Carolina, right? So yeah, I'm just like, why? I mean, I'm always going to Florida, and you know,
I'm always going to Alabama.
Yeah, you're always going to Alabama, and I'll drive a couple hours to get to Sweetens, but then like just totally neglecting the freaking Carolinas, and I feel kind of
man.
Sorry, I need to apologize. Like, but yeah, there's some. Yeah, so the Athens Country Club is the Donna Ross, and so I didn't know like he did any. I mean, I guess back in the day you wouldn't know if it would be a muni or not, but now it's a little 9-hole muni. You can pay $10 and walk all day.
What?
So I'm like, gotta see it. Because to me, I don't care. Like, I feel like people's courses are like kind of like a part of them. Like if you lived in Wisconsin or wherever, and of course I play it all the time, I would want to go see it. I'm curious, like just curious. That's like why you play this course all the time. Like what do you see in this course other than the price, obviously, that it makes you want to play it. And just like compare. I guess the longer you're in golf, you're like you kind of get curious about the different architecture and stuff like that. Not that I care so much about it, but like I'm just curious to compare it to what he did at Athens Country Club,
right.
And anywhere else that I'll play. That's Donald Ross. I think next year it'll be the Carolinas, and then I may try to go up and see Keith and play one of his Wisconsin courses.
Dude, that would be sick.
That'd be like a big trip.
Play one of or multiple. I mean, if you're there and you can hit off two.
Yeah.
Hit off Whistling and Aaron, or Aaron and Sand Valley. I guess Sand Valley, I mean, you could just hit that up and there's enough there. I mean, you could just feast just at Sand Valley.
Sand Valley.
Black Wolf Run.
Oh, dude, yeah, Black Wolf. Woo.
Yeah, man.
He got a lot of courses up there. Like I said, he's been playing a lot of good golf lately. I think he said he recently took a week off because it was raining a whole bunch and it got super cold for a second. So he was like giving the courses a little break this week. But next week, I'm going to be back on it. We need you sharp and ready, Keith, all right?
Yeah, that's amazing, dude, to have those courses in a couple hours of you.
Yeah, I mean.
That's crazy. And then just being in the Midwest there, I mean, you could connect over to some other decent spots too.
Yeah, I think he did Bandon earlier in the year. That's why he didn't do. That's why he couldn't do Battle at the Beach, because he had already booked a Bandon trip amidst all the craziness. And then him and where else? I know him recently. Him and what's that dude's name? The black guy, Roger. Him and Roger have been playing some cool courses, talking crap to each other.
Oh yeah, I love that, man. It's so good.
What a cool idea! Just they say some of the funniest stuff to each other while they're trying to beat each other, or while keeps trying not to get beat so badly. Because Roger's like a good golfer, dude. Apparently, he used to do long drive too.
Gee, man, Christmas. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, Keith's a great golfer. Remember Keith at
Oh,
Players Cup last year? He was
yeah.
balling out there. So
He's probably the only one that balled. Him
if
and
Keith is
Brian.
getting taking some L's from Roger, then Roger is just like, dude, that guy is just like dialed in.
Yeah. He's so long off the tee. So if he doesn't always have to hit driver, I mean, he can always be 270, 280 down the fairway with like a driving iron or a 3-wood
Oh
easily.
gosh.
And then have a wedge in his hand. You know what I'm saying? So, and then if he brings out driver easily, like 3-something, you know, just
wow.
He's so long off the tee. It'd be cool to hang out with him one day. Just not even to like try and beat him, just to like hang and play. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like,
yeah, but it sounds like, I mean, I don't know the guy, but it seems like he doesn't do friendly, play 9 holes and just kind of like encourage each other. He's out there he's out there to absolutely
he's out there to make bets
names and embarrass people.
Hey, content is content, all right? I don't care if I get beat.
True.
Right?
That's true.
People will eat up the content either way, I think. So do you have is there like a Creators Cup 2 or anything coming up, or what? You think you'll do it again, or?
Yeah, I mean, some of the players there were talking about, this time it was on the East Coast, closer to the East Coast guys. And there were a couple people from California who came. Whoa. And then a couple people, many people from California that weren't able to make it. But I think that if there is a 2.0 next year, it might be out in California, hosted by one of the California guys. So I would be very happy if someone else took over all the planning.
Yeah.
And then maybe, next year we'll go back to Cali, and then 2022, by that point, maybe go back to the RTJ trail.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking about it, and it's like, it's fun to experience different resorts and courses and to travel and see new things all the time.
Yeah.
There's also something that's comforting about playing a course, once a year. And if it's part of an event like a STEEZANDTEES event, going back and just like knowing, okay, I played this, hole last year and this is what happened. And just entering the event, knowing you've played all the holes, and like, you're not going to have to, once you've been through it once or twice before, spend so much time looking at the course map on the scorecard, figuring out what club you're going to hit. Like, it just becomes like more fun sometimes to play courses that you've played before.
Yeah.
So I, for that reason, I might be interested in hosting it at the same venue, but maybe in 2 years from now, so that, there's that sense of familiarity, or just being consistent, having like a tradition. Like, this is where Bad at the Beach is, right? Everyone knows it's going to be at Hammock Beach. Everyone knows that course. It's epic, and you get a return and look forward to playing like that course when you go and play there. So having that sense of consistency, I think, would be cool.
Yeah, that sounds awesome, dude. Hopefully it works out. Hopefully someone takes up the planning for 2021, or at least helps out. Because I mean, it'll be hard to be here in Georgia and then try to plan something for California.
Yeah, man. No, I mean, that would be very hard, and I'm still kind of tying up loose ends because people had to take off early from the Creators Cup. So Morgan's second closest to the pin prize, I still have it. It's in my bag.
Oh, nice.
And I'm holding on to that. It's kind of tough because I'm holding on to pretty sweet, it's a Dormy Workshop head cover.
Oh.
Yeah, so I reached out to Dormy, told them about the event, what I was doing, asked if they had anything that I could give to the players as part of like their welcome gift or as a giveaway prize. And they were like, yeah, man, like, we'll send you a head cover. Like, what's your address? It's like, oh my gosh, this is sweet.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty cool. I know a lot of golf companies, right now are kind of tight with COVID and everything, and they're kind of cutting back on these type of marketing events, but Dormy Workshop was pretty cool and sent me that. So I got that for him. And then I still actually have the trophy, and I'm now, my next task, even though the Creators Cup is done, my work isn't finished. I have to figure out how to engrave the winners' names into the cup.
Oh.
Because I think we're gonna do like sort of like some other tournaments. We're gonna have the trophy passed year to year to the winners. And so even though this trophy was made for this first event, I think we'll just engrave in it the winning team and their winning score, and then I'll mail it to them. And then at the next event, whoever wins it, then the cup will get passed to them. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's good stuff. But yeah, I'm ready to put the Lexus in cruise control and drive down to Orlando.
Heck yeah. So you bringing the wife or what?
Oh
Is it
yeah.
just you?
Oh yeah.
You bringing the wife?
Oh
Heck
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, absolutely,
Nice.
man. We're gonna be rolling in there, getting a little, little golf vacation.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time outside of golf there will be, so
So we get there Thursday. I'm doing
right.
a practice round or like a round
That's awesome.
guys. Thursday around 1.
Nice.
And then after there's only one round Friday, Saturday, Sunday in the morning. So we have all afternoon, evening to hang out.
Are you gonna play second rounds, you think? Maybe,
Depends
depending on how you feel.
Depends on how I feel and depends on how my first round goes. If I get a W, I don't care. I'm going to the room, taking a nap, and finding somewhere to eat. Unless I play like trash, and then therefore I will replay rate and try to redeem myself. But I'm feeling pretty good this year. About my game going into it, we'll see what happens. But this year, above all the other years, thankfully, with the instruction from Colin and everything, swing feels pretty good. Not too anxious about anything. So hoping to make a lot of pars, maybe throw in a couple of birdies. Got a new putter in the bag. Got a Spider
Really?
X.
What putter?
Spider X.
Ooh.
I like it, dude. It's anytime I've ever gone to PGA store, the first putter I pick up and just make the first play every time. So it feels good. Wow. It's very easy to aim for me personally, in the way I need to putt. It just sits right for me. So how to get that throw in the bag. I put in the shaft that Brian gave us at the Innisbrook tournament, the Acura TZ5. I put that in my driver, so that's working out pretty nicely. Thing bombs.
I mean, it looks like from the videos you've posted on Instagram, you're just ripping the D stick.
Oh yeah, so for me it's pretty stiff. It's 75 grams, but it's like extra stiff. So I can just go at it if I want to. And of course, along with what Colin's been teaching me, hope I can keep it on the straight and narrow this weekend, and we can get another W. Overall, I'm feeling pretty good, man. How's your game feeling good? Are you ready?
Yeah. I feel excited. Putting the new 3-wood in the bag. We'll see how the 3-wood works that Sandy Baggins has in store for me. So we'll see. But yeah, no, I feel pretty good. I've been also kind of like making some swing changes. But fortunately, I don't have as much going on in my head right now, swing wise, as I did a couple weeks ago, a couple months ago. I kind of was tinkering for a while and just figuring, thinking about 3 or 4 different things. And it's just tough to play when you're trying to implement new changes and you're like, you have a swing thought for the backswing, you have a swing thought for transition, you have a swing thought for follow through. And like when your mind is wrapped up in doing all those things that are newer moves to you, like, dude, it can be stressful to be, standing over the golf ball and trying to perform and score. So fortunately, after all of that, I think I've now settled to a point now where I have one swing thought, but for the most part, I'm not thinking as much over the ball. And I think that's kind of where I want to be. So
yeah, that totally makes sense. Yeah, that's why I didn't after I took my first lesson probably about a month and a half ago, maybe more, maybe 2 months. Definitely a month and a half ago with Colin. I didn't go immediately back because I wanted to like make sure I had it ingrained before, because whatever he taught me carries over into like the whole swing, like with irons and everything.
Right.
So like I'm not gonna say immediately, but like after some time on the range, I started hitting wedges better, irons better, and so I was like, well, driver's still a question mark a little bit, so let's see what we can do with that. And what we've been working on hasn't been too crazy, so not too many swing thoughts going on, which is cool because he kind of simplifies everything down.
Yeah.
Like, this is what you're doing, do this, try this, and then that's all you got to think about, which is awesome. If you're trying to play, and just you can't stop playing. Like, I can't stop playing. Like, there's days where I'm like, yeah, I don't mind going to the range today, but then like also, I have buddies and stuff who hit me up like, hey, let's play this weekend. I'm like, yeah, I'm not gonna say no to playing golf. Never gonna turn down a round to play on the range. So yeah, this is cool to be able to simplify swing thoughts, because you don't want to be out there just guessing every time you throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? Like,
oh yeah, absolutely.
You constantly tinkering and testing stuff out on every shot. It's not the way to play golf, man. You want to try to have as much fun as possible, even if you're competing. Like you do at such a high level that we compete on.
Hey man, Players Cup makes you feel like you're a tour player for the weekend, doesn't it?
It does, dude. Their events, Steezandtees, man, they always do a great. The banners and the welcome packages and everything. Like, you feel like a graded contestant in like a big event for sure. I will never forget the first time, the first Players Cup. I was just like, dude, this just feels like too much. Like, I don't deserve any of this. I'm like a 10, 11 handicap, and I just don't. This doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm robbing people of all their stuff. Like, they're just handing me stuff. Like, here you go. I'm like, okay, whatever. I'll be back. Okay, I'll tell my friends. But yeah, man, it was good talking to you. I want to keep you up all night, but great to hear about the Creators Cup, and hopefully it sticks around. And if I can't get to the one in Cali, hopefully I can get to the one in Capitol Hills again.
Yeah, man. Absolutely. And I really look forward to seeing you in Orlando in a couple of days.
Yes, sir. Team Brian, we're going to get that W.
Let's go.
You ready, my guy?
Come on. Send bombs.
Exactly. Yeah, man. Great talking. See you in a couple of days, brother. Y'all drive safe, man.
Awesome. You too. Always a pleasure.
Yes, sir.